Another set of useful tools to understand is understanding how to use constraints and deadlines. So let's go take a look at deadlines first. Remember that project likes to calculate our start and finish dates based on the project start date, based on your task structure, your duration, your dependencies. It also likes to look at constraints as well. But let's say that you had a deadline for your project, because most people don't get project start dates, they get project deadlines. You want to build into your work breakdown structure some completion point for the project. So in this case, we have implementation complete. Now let's say that we really did need to have this done by the end of 2013. I can double click on this milestone, and under the Advanced tab, you're going to find an area for deadlines and constraints. And I'm just going to click on deadline, and I'm going to choose my deadline to be December 31st, 2013. Click OK. And notice I now have in the Gantt bar area a green arrow, which is my deadline, and my milestone, which is what I'm currently tracking to. Notice that I'm past my deadline, and therefore under the indicator column, Microsoft Project has displayed this indicator saying that the task goes past its deadline, which was 12/31/13. Now what's interesting about this is that Microsoft will also calculate what we call negative slack. So it'll tell you by how much you're missing your deadline by displaying the total slack again as a field. But one of the things that I like to do, just as a tip, and you might like it too, is I can come over here to this milestone in the Gantt bar area and double click on it and bring up the format bar. Now if you want to get to it under the format tab, just highlight the item that you want to change and click on format here and click on format bar. Now I'm not doing format bar styles, I'm just formatting the bar just for this one task. And I'm going to double click on it over here in the Gantt bar area just to show you that I can bring up this milestone. And instead of changing the look and feel of the bar shape, I can click on bar text, and anything you add in the text area, like task name, duration, start, finish, you can add in the bar area. And right now, to the right of this milestone, it's showing task finish. I can also replace that with total slack. So in this drop down list, here's a list of all the things that you can add to your text area. I'm going to click on total slack. You'll find it here. Click OK. And you can see that now I'm minus 6 days past my deadline. So I've got this very useful visual indicator in Microsoft Project that calculates against the deadline. Now the nice thing about using the deadline feature is as you make changes to your plan, the milestone is free to move around, but the deadline stays intact. So you have a comparator to your milestone. And that's the benefit of using deadlines. Now I wouldn't necessarily set a deadline for everything in your project schedule, just for some key milestones, certainly maybe something at the end of your project. And it's a good way to compare what you're tracking to towards your deadline. Sometimes you might even find yourself on the other side of that deadline where you're actually ahead of schedule. So it is possible to make changes to your schedule and adjust your schedule. Now you won't be able to do this unless you took the time to set up your network and see the impact on these changes immediately. So following our process, you can have a very effective tool, and then you could take advantage of setting a deadline and seeing if you're early or late past your deadline. And if you're past it, Microsoft Project will calculate your total slack as a negative value.